Greetings, everyone. This is Payment Lorenzo, your friend, your coach. Today, I have another great guest, great episode for you guys. My new dear friend, Mr. Paul Pompeo from beautiful, tropical New York City. We connected about 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, to the beautiful Serving Circle. And we had a chat last week when I was still in Canada, and 2 weeks ago. And I knew right away that I had to bring him onto the show. So as I said, we connected in the Serving Circle. He's a former engineer, former party animal, but as he said, he retired those boots a long time ago. But he also got laid off just recently in July from his last official job. So I was looking at the next chapter of his life, and yeah, we had a beautiful chat about that, and we're gonna explore his story, his powerful story here. So, Paul, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks for inviting me, Payment. I'm really excited about having a chat conversation with you.
Pleasure of mine. So, Paul, we're gonna talk about your business and all that good stuff in a moment. But first, what I'd like to do is, for people who don't know you, tell us who's Paul as a human being and as a man.
Good question.
Okay.
I'm one that I'm a people person. I love meeting people. I love making connections. I love learning, and I love building relationships. And whenever possible, build a business. I'm a builder
Oh, I like
at
that.
heart.
I like that. I like that. Awesome. Awesome. So, you enjoy traveling, don't you?
Yes, I do.
All right. We can do an entire episode, if not an entire podcast, just me and you talking about traveling, but we'll do that another time. For now, I want to take you down a different type of traveling, down memory line. Go back to when you're growing up as a kid. You know, when you're a kid growing up, people around us, family, relatives, teachers, neighbors, always ask us, "Hey, Paul, what do you want to become when you grow up?" What was the answer to that as a young boy?
Oh, interesting. When I was 11 years old, I wanted to be a club owner. I
Oh,
wanted to, yeah, I wanted to own a club, not just a bar. I wanted to own a club where I love being around people that are having a good time. And this club was going to be a dancing club, it was going to be a bar, it was going to be a restaurant. And this is at 11 years old. I was dreaming about this year. So that's what I would have told you when I was 11 years old.
so how the hell did you have that idea all the way back as from as early as 11? When was the question is, when was the first time that you actually stepped into a club?
I can't tell you, man. I'd get arrested for that. Like the first time I stepped into a bar was when I was like 16, 17 years old.
Oh, wow.
I looked old for I looked very grown up for a 6-year-old kid, so I was able to get
Mm,
in and
yeah.
buy drinks and whatnot. But yeah, so that's basically it.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, growing up, what was your relationship with school? Did you love school or did you hate school?
High school, I loved going to high school because I went to a special high school. I had 4 shop periods a day, and
Ah,
the other periods were just academic. And I went to in it was in Long Island City, New York. It was called the Aviation High School. I loved airplanes. My father gave me the love for airplanes because he was an Air Force guy,
oh, wow.
staff sergeant, and me and him were always building those balsa wood model airplanes. So I just loved aircraft, and so I went to high school. I loved going. I didn't like the academic stuff, but I loved going to 4 shop periods a day. So, but I got out. I graduated. I also graduated with what they call an A&P license,
Mm,
airframe and power plant. So I could have
yeah,
went to go work at an airport and whatnot. So I enjoyed that part of school.
absolutely. So, speaking of that, what were your favorite and least favorite subject in school?
Oh, I couldn't stand these esoteric classes that they'd made me take, philosophy and all
Oh,
of that stuff. I love philosophy now, but back then I didn't want I just give me my engineering and my technical stuff and let me just leave me alone with the rest. But
yeah.
that was my favorite was learn it. Believe it or not, math and science was my favorite subjects. And anything else, history and all that other stuff was just a waste of time as far as I considered.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So imagine that we were in the same class, saying around grade 10 or 11. What kind of student or boy were you back then? Were you the shyer, reserved, and or the nerdy type? Were you the chatterbox, superstar athlete, the life of the party of the class? How were you back then?
It all depended. Most for the most part, I was the life of the party, the guy being goofing off and trying to get everybody to laugh and whatnot. That's what I was. I was more like that.
Mm,
Then when I had to get down to business, then I was the nerdy guy in the corner studying with. I always studied with like not just by myself. I always had to have a group, like a group to study with me. So that's the way I operated.
beautiful. Now, when you were going to school, high school, college, were you popular with the ladies?
I went to an all boys high school,
Okay.
so I had to go really out of my way to go. There was, believe it or not, 5 blocks away from me was an all girls high school. So
Ah,
so we used to make trips there, and maybe cut a couple of classes to go to meet some of the girls and whatnot. But I always had a girlfriend when I was in high school.
good, good, good. What was your very first job? And do you remember how much you get paid the first time you worked?
Any job or out of school job.
Any, the very first time you worked.
I was 11, 12 years old, had a paper route. That was my first job.
How
Getting
much were
up
you?
at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow.
What's
Okay.
that?
How much were you getting paid? For that job.
Oh, I don't. I used to get everything was cash in there. In those days they'd
Yeah.
pay cash when you. So I was a little bit of an entrepreneur back then. I started, you had the ability to bring on more papers. I can ask the paper distributor, I want another 100 papers, another 100 houses, and they would keep giving it to you as long as they got their money and as long as the papers made it there. And I had like 500 paper, I
Wow.
had 500 houses. And what I started doing was I was hiring out people to make the deliveries for me, and I would make sure they would collect and whatnot. So that was my first
Nice.
entrepreneurial venture I had back then. That
Beautiful.
was my first job.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, moving forward, how would you describe your path from the moment you left school to now? Would you say it was pretty much straightforward, smooth sailing? Once you're into one lane, you were set for life? Or was it more like turns and twists, like a roller coaster?
Oh, twists and turns by far. Very big twists and turns.
So tell
So
us
it
about
wasn't,
your path from the moment you left school. What did you major in school, and what kind of job career did you get into?
I, when I was in my first 2 years of college was I got my applied science and electrical technology first 2.5 years. It took me 2.5 years to do 2 years, but because I like partying, so took me a little longer than what I should have taken. And then my father encouraged me and he said, "Listen, go get your engineering degree. You got to get your engineering degree." I said, "Okay." And I went to Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, and I had about another 2.5 years there, and I got my engineering degree there in electronics, electrical and electronic degree. And then after I graduated there, I worked for a company that was a subcontractor for the Navy, and they
Hmm?
worked on aircraft, the navigational systems, and it was government funded. They had an open checkbook, and we just had so much work to do. But then they closed that checkbook, and they laid us all off. I was there about 6 years. That was fun work, and it was like a continuation of college because they hired like 30,000 young kids all over the country out of engineers and whatnot, all just out of school. So of course this was the roaring 80s, and it was party time and work hard basically, and but then they had a big layoff, and I always wanted to get into sales, and I got it because I had a friend of mine who was in sales for a long time. So I like that, man. It's like getting out there and whatnot. I like hunting things, hunting business down, that type of thing. And I got into selling uh, office equipment, and that was a great experience. I had a lot of door knocking and just make cold calling on the phone. I learned a lot there, and I did well for a while. And then I kind of after that, I bounced around to different jobs. I was in different industry. I was worked for a tissue and paper company for a few years, and then I transitioned into telecommunications. And The first company I worked for out of into telecommunications, I loved it. It was great. I liked the technology, and it was a new thing. So business was like just pouring in. I was closing some business left and right there.
Mm.
And then the company went out of business, and I found myself looking around, and I went to there was this. This was during like the 2000s, early 2000s, and there was a lot of businesses that they were all these techie companies like the dot-com bubble and whatnot. They had all these great plans. They get paid. It was great commission. You'd earn some money, but boom, out of business. Boom, out of business. Boom, out of business. And then I finally so I've been bouncing around for I'd stay at a place 2 or 3 years and do great, and then go somebody would wave the carrot in front of me, and I go to another job. So that was that's been my history. But all through all of that, I wanted my own business.
Mm.
I wanted my own business, and that's always been my heart's desire. Like we were talking about last 2 weeks ago. If it's something that's in your head and out of your head, it's really if it stays with you for this long, it's in your soul, man.
That's it. That's it. So, have you ever been in a phase in your life when nothing was working for you to the point that you were broke and you were on the blink of even giving up? Have you ever been through a phase like that?
Oh yeah, a couple of times. I'm fighting not to get into that phase again today.
Yeah. So
But
tell
things
us,
are good right now.
yeah, good, good. So tell us what happened, and most importantly, how did you get yourself out of that funk?
I'm an avid reader.
Mm.
uh, I read as much positive stuff I could find. I read that big black book that most people don't read, but I find a lot of encouragement in that. And I also read a lot of sales books, a lot of books that are on attitude type books. And those are the things, and just praying and reading and affirming and speaking out what I want. Those are some of the tools that I use to get out of that funk. You
Mm.
know, I had I'll give you one situation where I felt like that.
Mm.
I had it was during COVID, or right in the beginning of it, and I was living in a house in Queens, and the owner who had the house didn't pay their taxes, so they were going to foreclose on the house, and I had to move, but I wasn't ready. I was saving to get a house. And but I had to move because they were selling it. They had to sell it. So we scrambled, went crazy. Me and my wife went running around looking at houses. I give her a lot of credit because while I was working, she was the one doing all the research. We finally found a house that was only by the grace of the Almighty that we're in the house that we're in right now is because we couldn't plan this. Right when I was getting the house inspected to move in, it was the last inspection they were doing because they stopped doing the inspections because of COVID.
Ah,
But
okay.
we were the last one. And then to top it off, while we're in the middle of closing, right before we went to closing, I got laid off from my job. I got COVID laid off.
Oh, wow.
So now I got no job, and I'm grateful the mortgage broker I had, she was a superstar. She was like, "Don't worry about it. We'll figure this out. Go get a job. You get a pay stub, and we'll go to closing." And I worked my butt off like I never did. And meanwhile, I'm not even living in that house anymore. I'm at a friend's house with I had stuff in storage, and but through all of this here, I just wanted to die. I didn't
Ah,
I didn't I didn't want to I didn't I but if it wasn't for my pets and my wife, I would have probably did something stupid, but I just kept pressing on, and we're in the house now, and it was
beautiful.
nothing short of miracles, and just believing,
Once I can relate with that. Once you're in that dark, dark, dark spot, somehow, some way, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, brings you the right people, the right circumstances out of nowhere. I've been saved so many times. You know my story. So many times it's
Yes.
literally baffles understanding. You just have to, yes, it's cheesy. surrender and trust the universe. Take one step
Hmm.
at a time. That proverbial leap of faith and
Yep.
trust that because again, God never gives you anything that you can't handle and nothing happens to you but for you. Even
Yes.
the most painful experience that we go through. Remember what I said? Always look at things from the perspective of these two questions. What is this trying to teach me? What is a lesson for me to learn? And I would even add a third one. What is this trying to tell me?
True.
So, absolutely. You mentioned a couple of things that I want to expand on while you were talking, sharing your story. You mentioned that you're married,
Yes.
happily married.
Oh yeah.
Is she happy?
She is happy. Yes.
Good. How did you guys meet?
Oh, she was working in a restaurant, like as the maitre d', and I walked in there and I knew right away that I have to get this woman's phone number. I have to take her out. And we were sitting down. I made some, I don't remember exactly how I said, but I made some wiseacre remarks to crack her up, and she laughed. And at the end, I said, "Now, can I get your phone number?" She says, "No." She said, "No, give me your phone number."
Ooh.
All right, so I gave her my phone number, and by the time I got home, there was a message on my answering machine. To tell you how long ago it was. When there was a message on my answering machine, and she goes, "I got these tickets to a comedy show. Do you want to go?"
Oh,
And that's
wow.
and that's all she wrote. And she goes, I just want to let you know, I've never done this before. I've never called a guy. All right." I was like, "Okay, cool. All right, I'm all right with that." And it's that's all she wrote.
A woman that calls you and invites you to a show, right there, that's a keeper.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yep.
So, what made you see and realize, hey, she's different and she's the one?
Uh, we just had a great time together, and we would talk for hours. Out like was never had to think about what to talk about. It was just we just would talk and laugh.
Mm.
She's got a really sarcastic wit, even to this day, and it's hysterical sometimes what she said, what comes out of her mouth. But she had it even back then. So yeah, that's what kind of was the glue. We were friends. We became friends.
The best relationships are built upon friendship. You want your lady or your man to be your best friend, first and foremost.
Yeah,
Is
absolutely.
is she also Italian?
No, she's French.
Oh, okay, okay, that's good.
She's New England French.
Oh, okay, okay. Another thing that you mentioned faith. Are you a man of faith?
Absolutely.
So, has religion always been an important part of your life, or something that you reconnected later on in life?
Yeah, something when I was a kid, I was kind of forced to go to church and whatnot. And my father was a very religious man. He had the right intentions, but he was a staff sergeant in the Air Force. He had hundreds of men under him. So when he said to do something, you did it, and the way he said it was you knew he wasn't messing around. So when we go to church, you get up, you get dressed, and we go into church. And then
Mm,
until I was like 16, 17, where he started to realize, well, he's becoming a man, let him make his own decision. And I stopped going. And then I reconnected with my spiritual life when I was probably about 30 years old.
mm,
I started reading the Bible, started really getting into it, and it changed my life. I gotta say, now
yeah,
I have a spiritual life, and
beautiful.
and you know what? I still was the messed up individual I was then, but it was now at least I had a power greater than myself that was transforming little by little when I allowed him to.
Yeah. How was it growing up in a household with a father with such a strong character? I understand that because of his military background, what he said, his word was basically law. He had to,
Exactly. Yeah,
he couldn't say
exactly.
nope. So
No.
how was it growing up in that kind of, and most importantly, what lessons did you learn growing up in that environment?
I learned with him a strong work ethic. Him and my grandfather taught me work ethic, and he was a man and he was a man filled along with that like that staunchy kind of obey the law kind of thing. He also lived it. He was a man of high integrity. If the rules are one, two, three, four, he didn't leave anything out or he didn't skip. He just followed it. And I learned integrity from him. Although it took me a while to kind of implement it in my life. But so yeah, so growing up with him was and he was also had a fun side. He could be a goofy guy too, but just don't step out of line, you know what I'm saying? But he could be fun. So it's
Yeah,
fun and strict at the same time.
yeah, absolutely. You mentioned books. Are you an avid reader?
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite book so far?
Aside from that big thick black book they call the Bible, I have, let's see, I'm just looking at some of the books I'm reading right now. I'm reading Brave Thinking. I'm reading the Nine Figure Income. I got my friend Joel. He has a couple of books that I've been reading. I'm reading this other book that's great. It's called the Puppet Master's Bible. It's
Hmm.
about how manipulation and how the media manipulate how we can learn how to do that for the benefit of others. I'm also very into the Enneagram. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
The
It's
which
a
one?
person Enneagram. It's a personality style type of
Oh, okay.
study, and that's kind of what I'm learning that to. I got certified in it, but I really want to put it into a coaching practice along with sales and whatnot. So I read a lot of sales book. Extreme Ownership is another book that I've been reading. So I'll read a couple of books at the same time. Maybe that's not the best way to do it, but I'll read a few at the same time. But
So, which books are you reading currently?
I'm reading the Puppet Master's Bible right now, and I'm reading the 9 types of leadership using the Enneagram. Those are the two that I'm working on right now.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, you mentioned that you got laid off in July, like 2 months ago.
Yes. Yeah.
How did you get over that?
I didn't. I'm still working on processing all those emotions because I was there at the company for 3 years and uh leadership changed. It got really ugly there. And I learned a lot too.
Mm,
I look at the way that I deal with it is the fact that something I learned a lot there. I
mhm.
learned a lot about how I operate and how some the areas in my life that need to change, you know. So so I'm still working on processing all those feelings, but
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
absolutely. You mentioned that one of your dreams and goals is to have your own business. Have you ever had your own business before?
I've had fits and starts over the last 20 years of starting and petering out, starting and petering out, running out of money, all of that kind of stuff. But this time around, I'm working on 100% faith.
Good, good, good. Now, tell us about the business that you're looking to build moving forward.
Well, right now, I'm looking to create something that I can help people with,
Mhm.
that I can help and I can provide be a valued resource, and be able to create passive ongoing income. That's what I'm looking to create. And with my technology consulting side of the business, that's kind of inherently built in.
Sure.
But what I really want to do is just I want to coach. I want to be able to help people. I could take my 20 years of experience and I want to package it so that I've already had a couple of appointments with people who are struggling with the sales end of whatever they're trying to do in their business. And I've already kind of been his resource for that too.
Good.
So
So, would you say your strength is selling?
yeah,
So,
yes.
what's your selling approach, or rather, what's your selling methodology?
My selling methodology. Well, I do a lot of old school. I have no problem picking up the phone and making
Smile and die.
hundreds of
Yeah.
smile and dial. I have no problem doing that. It still works.
Yeah.
It might not be the most effective way, but there is a person when you do get that appointment. There's a personal bond that happens
Oh
there.
yes.
That instead of them just answering an email or doing some social media thing. But but I am branching out. I'm doing a lot more networking. I go to a lot of networking groups, and right now I just want to be of service to whoever I meet.
Yeah.
And I know it'll come back to me somehow, some way. And so that's my basic approach. My basic bottom line is emails and cold calling all day long, and it works.
Hey, what's the saying like? Don't rock the boat if it's working,
Yeah, exactly.
something like that. So awesome. Now, we want to build a business around helping and selling. Tell us more about that. What pain point do you want to address and solve through the business that you're building?
Pain point for me or pain point for the
For
people
them,
I'm
for
working with?
them, for them.
That I've been finding some of the coaching that I have done in sales that people just don't are they don't know how to ask for the business or
Mm,
close it or know and do it in a way that's not like too scripted.
mm,
They're having problems in that part of it. I also see that picking up the phone, and being able to reach out and instead of just praying that an email gets answered. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've been helping them with that. I got a bunch of appointments next week.
mm,
Uh, that people just need some help selling. They know their product, they know their service,
mhm.
but they don't know that the challenge that I see them having is the fear of actually asking them to be a client. You know?
That final ask I did. So, what do you think is stopping people? What is one tweak that they can need to do to overcome that?
It's a limiting belief that they think I
Mm,
think it's they don't think they're worthy, or
yes.
this is great information, but I don't know if I should really ask them to want to buy it from me. There's a limiting belief of worthiness there. Do I deserve it? Deserving. Am I enough? Can I help them? I
Mhm.
really, I know this stuff real well, but can I help them? So I see that the biggest block is just believing that, that they can
Yeah.
implement what they want.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of roots that people have to deal with, and I know because there's roots that I have to that I have to deal with myself, and I have to work on that every day.
So, what would you say? How would you recommend for people to overcome that those limiting beliefs, this lack of self belief that I'm worth it? How can someone overcome that?
The simplest way I can see doing it is get a piece of paper, write down all the things that come up in your head when you're getting ready to pick up that phone or ask for the business. Write it down, all those limiting beliefs. And then right next to it, write the counter to that.
Mm,
You know, like say you got a limiting belief, I'm too old to do this here. Something like that. And then the counter to that would be, I'm at the right perfect age to
I love
establish
that.
all my goals, and things like so I would tell them to do something like that. The other thing too is I've been really getting into meditation,
Hmm.
you know, and visualization. And
Yes.
I would help. I say, write out what you want to see. What's your outcome? What's the outcome you want to see?
Yes.
And write it down um, and visualize that happening and feel the feelings, experience it, like if it really was happening. And I've actually took my phone, recorded some water and bird chirping sounds, and taken my vision and spoke it out while I was and recorded that, and I listened to it at night and in the morning. So things like that.
Love
And then
that.
of course the major thing is push yourself off the cliff and just do it. And then as you get, and then that's even today, if I pick up the phone, that first call is like I get that little 10-second anxious feeling. But once I get going, you're not going to stop me. It just keeps going.
Yeah. It's all about taking that leap of faith.
Yeah,
What you
exactly.
said about writing down your limiting beliefs and the counterpart, that's absolute genius. I love that. That reminds me of Askfirmations. Have you heard of that?
Say it again.
Askfirmations. You know, there's affirmations. And then there's
Right.
Askfirmations. Like
No,
affirmations.
I never heard of that. I never heard of Askfirmations. I
Affirmation
like
is,
that.
affirmation is I am successful, I'm wonderful, whatever. Then affirmation is you trick your mind the right way. Instead of asking, why am I stuck? Why I'm not good or worthy? Ask yourself, why I'm so lucky? Why are my all my dream clients coming to me? Why are those beautiful ladies smiling at me? Why are opportunities knocking on my doors all the time? Why is money coming into my life in increasing quantities from known and unknown sources? Why? Asking yourself the question because your subconscious mind, your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not. It just takes orders. I
I
even
love that, man. That is so great.
go on YouTube, search for Askfirmations, Askfirmations for abundance, for health, for everything you want. When I was at my lowest, I used to have a lot of very strong, deep-rooted limiting beliefs about money, about scarcity. I was always afraid, even if when I made money, afraid of losing it and running out of money.
Yes.
I've been to that phase a couple of times. So one thing that I used to do was listening to affirmations. There's even some that are literally 8 hours. I would play them beside my bed when I was going to sleep, falling asleep to that, because your subconscious mind hears it even when you're sleeping. So
Right.
listen to those affirmations. They have been, for me, the thing that helped me overcome those mental beliefs, limiting blocks, and all that. Number one, affirmations. Number two, counting my blessings all the time. Even when you in your wallet you only have $5. Don't say why am I have only five. Say, ask, thank you for these $5. Because if you can be grateful for those $5 for the small things in your life, then you open the door for bigger and bigger things.
Yes.
Count your blessings. Thank you for this comfortable bed. Thank you for this roof over my head. Thank you for this comfortable chair I'm sitting on. Thank you for this beautiful computer. Thank you for this amazing connection. Thank you for the lovely family. Thank you for my perfect health. Count every single blessing. Don't take anything for granted. I have a very strong connection with water. Maybe in a past life I was a dolphin. Uh, I take long showers in the morning, like literally 20, 30 minutes, cold
Hmm.
water, counting my blessings one by one, one by one.
That's great.
And sometimes I go to the beach, just sit there listening to the waves and looking at the ocean and just count my blessings. Or even sometimes I dive on the water. Before I dive, I say, universe, inspire me, show me the path. Give me ideas. Help me overcome whatever. That's my way of connecting with of meditating and all that. So
That, excellent.
affirmations is amazing.
I gotta check that out. You said YouTube Askfirmations?
Just ask ASK and then formations.
Okay. All right. I gotta
And
check that out,
you
man.
can choose for any affirmation on any topics for health, for love, for abundance, business, anything.
All the above, man.
Yeah, exactly. So affirmations for me have been a game changer. And what you said about writing on a piece of paper all your existing limiting beliefs and all the counterparts, that's so brilliant. Well done. Now,
I
go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say that I only bring that up because I did it. And
Yes,
is it all right? I mentioned somebody else that helped me with that. Uh,
please go ahead.
I told you I know Joel
Yeah.
Thalmor for 13 years, and we were just friends.
Mm.
And we just hung out, and and he started getting into all of these different techniques and whatnot, and I just listened, but I didn't never did anything. But a year ago or so, he says, I want to test something out on you, and he goes, okay. So we started we went through the test, and he started asking me, what's your belief level on whatever he's doing? And I'm like, oh man, it's
Mm.
like five. He goes, what? What do you mean five? I thought you would be at least a nine or a 10. I go, no, it's a five. And what he started me thinking is, oh my goodness, I thought I was done with limiting beliefs. You know what I'm saying? And I said, and all of a sudden, all of these thoughts start coming into my head. A limiting beliefs, I don't have enough. If I invest in this, I'm going to lose all my money and I'll never get it back. All these crazy thoughts. So you're too old. You wasted so much time. All these So I said to myself, I got to write these down. So I wrote them down, and then every single one of them, I put an affirmation that's the counter to it, and
Mm.
now I printed it out. And every morning I read it, the positive version of it.
Absolutely. Love that. Love that. And I love that question. What's your belief level on? I love that question. I
Yeah,
wrote it down. That's beautiful. You know, when you put yourself in a state of gratitude and gratefulness, you elevate your vibration, your frequency. And when you're grateful, you cannot be pissed off. You cannot be sad. You cannot be depressed. Another
right.
big thing for me was I heard a doctor say on YouTube a couple of years ago, and I'll always remember that. He said, if every doctor in the world were to prescribe 1 hour of mandatory laughing and smiling to every person in the world, within 30 days, 99% of all ailments would be gone. Why?
I
Because
believe it.
when you laugh and smile, you're happy. When you're happy, you make your body toxic for stress, for disease. And what's the number one cause of disease? Stress.
Yes.
So go laugh. I still watch sometimes cartoons, old French movies, comedies. Laugh.
Yeah. Abbott Costello does it for me, man.
There you go. Find whatever is laugh. Basically, get in touch with that inner child of yours, because that inner child is basically the fire in us and every single one of us, regardless of how old you may be,
Yes, agreed.
because we all want to have fun. Nobody wants to go to the day or life without having fun. Oh, what's the point of it? No. The moment you stop having fun and laughing, you might as well just dig a hole and just lay in it, and that's
Yep,
it.
agreed.
So laugh more. When you laugh more, you love more, you attract better. It's what's the opposite of a what does it call it? It's a positive circle.
Feedback.
Yeah, positive
Positive
circle.
feedback.
Yeah, positive. It's not a vicious circle. It's what's the opposite of vicious? It's a blessing circle.
Yes.
The circle of blessings.
Yes. I love it, man. Circle of
Yeah,
life.
absolutely, absolutely. Love that. Now, let's start wrapping things up. And to finish, I'd like to ask you a series of rapid fire questions on advices. Ready?
On vices or advice?
Advice, not vices.
Advice.
No, no, no.
I'm getting rid of those, man.
No, no, no. We might do that in person, but not.
Yeah.
All right. What has been so far the best piece of advice you received in your life?
In my life, it would be analyzing my limiting beliefs.
Mm. What has been the worst piece of advice that you've received?
Ooh, go get a job.
I was about to say that, but I didn't want to say it. Yeah, yeah. Go get a job. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Uh, Imagine that you're blessed with a time machine and you can go back in time and sit face to face with the 18-year-old Paul. What's the number one piece of advice you would give to him, knowing all that you know now?
Ooh, yeah, I've thought of that before. I would tell him to stay focused on one thing and see it through.
Absolutely. That's huge. Yes. Do you have your own podcast?
No, I don't. I've attempted it, but it never got off the ground.
What has been the main reason that you do not have a podcast yet?
Uh, didn't know how to do it. You
Okay.
know, there was it was a lot of learning, and I was doing it all on my own, and I was just trying to, it's not like I gave up on it. It's just that I put it on the side and made other
Okay.
things more important.
Well, you're in the right place, and I'll be happy to help you. But imagine, let's project 6 months, a year from now, and you have a very successful podcast. And today, a year from now, you're interviewing the most special person in the world, and that is yourself. So, Paul, what's the first question that you want to ask yourself? Don't think too much. First question that comes to your mind that you want to ask yourself.
So, Paul, how did you get started with this?
What's your answer?
Answer is I was fortunate enough to be in this networking group because the serving table, and I met this guy named Payman,
Wow.
and he taught me everything I needed to know about podcasting.
This guy sounds amazing. Do I know it?
I think you do.
Awesome. Okay. Now, the last question I ask all my guests, and that's my favorite question to ask, and that is this. What has been for you so far, Paul? The one thing, the smallest thing you've done that has had the greatest, deepest, most profound, positive impact in both your life and your business. For example, for me, has been starting my podcast. What about you?
The most impactful thing is my habit, the little habit of read. I started reading 15 minutes every morning. That's been the
Oh,
most impactful thing because now it's a tremendous habit that I've told somebody once, if I stop reading for a week, it's 1984 all over again for
mm,
me. And that was a sick time in my life.
yeah,
So I reading has been the number one thing. The littlest thing I did was 15 minutes a day of reading that turned into a lot more than that now.
I love it. What book did you read this morning?
What book did I watch? I read my Bible first, and then I started reading my Enneagrams, and I started reading a little bit more on the Puppet Master's Bible. I started reading that. That's how I started my day.
Love that, love that, love that. That's very powerful. Thank you. What's the saying? Leaders or readers?
Yes.
I love that. I love that. Awesome. If someone wants to connect with you, Paul, what's the best way to do so?
LinkedIn. You can find me at Paul V. Pompeo on LinkedIn, and you'll see my shining face there. There's a couple of Pompeos, but I put Paul V. Pompeo in there, and you'll find me
Mm,
on LinkedIn there.
okay, awesome. We'll put that in the show notes. Listen, Paul, absolute pleasure, honor connecting with you. Love your story, love your passion, love the fire in you. I salute you. You're a true leader with a
Thanks.
heart. Keep shining your light, keep blessing the world, your presence, your impact, your smile, your laugh. Remember always to laugh more, smile more. And always remember, you are a gift yourself. Now go out, first embrace loud and proud your gifts, and then share them even louder and prouder around you and around the world. Stay safe, stay awesome, stay warm, stay cool, whatever the weather. God bless my brother and talk to you very soon. Take care.
God bless, brother. Thank you.
Take care. Welcome. Yes.